as the current state right now in Black Clover, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different plot points, and foreshadowing aspects and backstory and lore that we're all getting, and they're all connecting and really starting to tie up a lot of the story too. So a lot of these things beforehand make sense, but we're also getting these extremely powerful characters. These, like Licht, the first Wizard King, this devil. There's a lot coming at us, but I've seen either the argument coming in two different forms of what could come after this arc in terms of the people that I think are going to be the following threat, that being the Diamond Kingdom. And there are people that are saying, either how would the Diamond Kingdom possibly show up and be as powerful as the current enemies, obviously the elves, or oh, they'll just show up and they'll just be more powerful and it won't make any sense. And I disagree with both of those. Because the Diamond Kingdom is still a threat, and there's a lot of aspects to it that I think people are forgetting. And one of it is like the elves are very powerful. And even if the Diamond Kingdom, they don't show up and be like, we're way more powerful than the elves. They don't need to be more powerful than the elves because we don't know whether or not the elves are going to stay or not. We don't know what's going to happen with the elves if they're going to stay in the Clover Kingdom and maybe they're going to have like a joint kind of like this. We're going to share the kingdom with you because it used to be yours and we feel bad about it, or are they going to leave and go try and find their own new land and maybe we'll see them again at a different period in time? I remember like Lord of the Rings, there's like that far off land specifically for the elves. I don't know anything about the books, but anyway, I only know about it from the movie scene, and I was like, when are we going to find out about? And that's where the movies ended. But anyway, I don't want to get off track of that. But with what's going on right now, we have the elves is a threat, and the elves are powerful. You get one character turns into an elf, and the elves have their magic, but a much more powerful version of it. You had Lux magic, and he can put on lightning, and have an all around enhancement for speed. He can shoot like lightning balls out of his hands. And then you had Lufu, the elf that took over him, that had like, instead of just like lightning gloves and boots, he had like a full body suit with these horns, and he was able to seemingly create a lightning cloud and drop straight lightning bolts on people. They had a just in general more powerful version. But one thing Zora noted when he was dealing with the elves, when him and Nozzle and Noel, again, I'm saying Nozzle until I get a canon pronunciation. It's Nozel. I'll wait for correct pronunciation, but until then, I'm sticking with Nozzle. That the elves were not used to more complicated magic, and I feel like that could also play in if the elves stayed. Because one thing, I don't feel like even if the elves stayed, I don't feel like Licht would still be here. I feel like he's too powerful, the character, to really keep around. And there's no way that the first Wizard King is going to be like, I'm going to hang out here as a statue with a bunch of magic stones in me. We don't know what's going on. Again, I feel like the elves are going to have to leave for whatever reason. And what's going to follow that all up, I feel like, are going to be Diamond Kingdom. And what do we know about the Diamond Kingdom? How could they still be a threat after we went against the elves? And that is, instead of being straight powerful, what exactly about them makes them dangerous? What do we know about them? One is that they are augmented from magic stones, so we know that they could have captain level people, and it wouldn't be like, oh, they've had these extremely powerful characters, and why haven't they attacked yet? Well, one thing that we really need to keep in mind is them having captain level people it isn't out of the ordinary. The captains are powerful, but they aren't what the obvious threat, I would guess, that the Diamond Kingdom had of ever invading, and that being Julius Novachrono, the most recent Wizard King. And it's not just that he was powerful in general, like his magic, like time manipulation magic. Obviously, they didn't want to mess with that. That was a big thing they'd have to look out for. And him gone, plus any of the other captains that may go down, like maybe in the last throes of this arc, we don't know. Even if it's just Julius, that alone is a huge blow to the Clover Kingdom. And this is going to be a good time for the Diamond Kingdom to strike. Because again, they can have powerful people, whether they are captain level already or augmented by magic stones. Again, we know about the magic stones. It messes with their mind, but also makes them more powerful. You can see in this picture, I didn't have to go back to the explanation of them. You can see them in the bodies of these guys, the 5 of the 8 shining generals. We only know about 2 of them. having any form of maybe defecting from them, Mars and Ladros. We don't know if possibly when they went back to try and work on the Diamond Kingdom, if they got taken over by Morris again. You know, the guy who's pretty much the guy in charge of the Diamond Kingdom. He's their pretty much super scientist. He's doing experiments, and the experiments are also a huge thing because we also don't know what kind of magic tools they have, because we know that they were going after dungeons to get magic tools. They left with a bunch of them after the initial dungeon arc with Mars, you know, and that whole thing. And that by itself could be a big threat because a magic tool can make a big difference in a fight. It has an extra ability to it that you know you can tag onto somebody for an extra level of optimization to their character. And not only that, we know from Mars and Fauna that they are capable of making pretty much Frankenstein grimoires. And with Mars and Fauna, you know, at least assuming that they have more, just looking at Mars and Fauna alone, they were very dangerous. Not just the fact that, you know, Mars had diamond magic, you know, diamond, very, very durable, very hard to destroy. But he also had healing magic from Fauna's fire magic. You know, you have a dude who's has a high level of offense and defense with his diamond magic. Plus, he can pretty much full heal himself with the Phoenix robe. That alone makes him very dangerous. Even if, you know, you're like, okay, he's pretty powerful already. You know, you add the fact on he can just full heal himself. That's a whole level of danger on top of it. There's always that kind of aspect to characters. You know, you'll be really good in one area, but they're only good at that because we already know that's also a thing existent in Black Clover. There's, you know, you have some more support style characters. You have someone like Mimosa, who she's almost entirely healing and support. She does have, you know, her big sunflower sentry, and there are other characters that have someone like Magna, who does have that binding spell, but mostly he's just got different types of offensive fireballs and different ways to enhance his offensive capabilities. But with the Frankenstein grimoires, that could add an extra level of danger. There's always that idea of, you know, if you've ever played a video, like a team video game, there could be a character who's really good, but combined with another one, it's like the synergy of the two abilities and whatever they do together could add a whole extra layer of just how like OP and dangerous they could be. So again, you can have that with more of the Shining Generals, and maybe some of them have special magic tools or like these patched, worked up grimoires where they have magic that goes like on each side of a spectrum of both offense, defense, support, and that's like they have these really strong combos that shouldn't be in the same grimoire for balance issues, pretty much. And that's where I think a huge fact of them are going to be dangerous because not only are they, I feel like their military itself as more like armed, and just like the fact that they have all these experimental things going on. We don't know if they have weird mutated people, like weird, like again, I guess I could use it in a different sentence, like Frankenstein creatures, where they've like taken maybe magical beasts and stitched them together and created chimeras. Or, you know, there's a lot that they could come up with that are going to be dangerous. And it's not just the fact that the Clover Kingdom is going to be worn down. They're going to be probably like spend a lot of resources and time and effort trying to rebuild the kingdom from damages from the big battle with the elves, and probably, you know, more from the demon when we see pretty much the fight with Himlicht and Lumiere, the first Wizard King. And it's not the fact that the Diamond Kingdom has to somehow be more powerful than the elves. They just have to be a threat in their own way. I think that their experiments with you know, grimoires, as I said, you know, making the creepy Frankenstein patchwork grimoires, physical augmentation. You could take a character and put in magic stones to make them far more powerful than they need to be. Obviously, they're more unstable and dangerous. But really, if you just throw them out on the battlefield and you don't really have care about what damages, you know, go to your troops as long as you end up winning. And, you know, they could spell out a lot of, you know, a big threat in its own way. And that's really what, like, I really want to lay out about the Diamond Kingdom is they don't need to just be like, oh man, this guy could one-shot this guy could one-shot Patri or Licht or even the Devil character. It doesn't need to be straight up more powerful. They just have to be more dangerous in their own way. If you've ever read Rave Master, a previous work by Hiro Mishima, there's an arc where they fight this character named Doryu, and he's like a big, like it'd be like a raid boss. He was very dangerous. It took like everyone on the main character group combined to defeat him, and he was extreme. He was the most powerful character they had really fought up to that point, like as their group. And then the villain after that wasn't as powerful, but he had a very strange ability, and obviously it wasn't the whole team, it was mostly just the main character. And it can really depend, because one of the things about the elves as well is most of the big elves have been defeated in groups. We don't know exactly if, like, I doubt a Diamond Kingdom arc if it's gonna have as many people, or maybe it will straight be a war, because the difference with the elves versus the Diamond Kingdom is I can bet the Diamond Kingdom has way more people. Because, like, the elves, maybe we saw a couple dozen of them. There's, like, the followers of Saphira, they were, what, 12 or 13? And then, these random other elves, you had a couple dozen. You probably had, like, 50 to 100 elves. I feel like 100 is still pushing it. But the Diamond Kingdom, they have the 8 Shining Generals, but they also have probably a ton of foot soldiers and a ton of magic weapons and a ton of their other aces up their sleeve and whatnot. So we need to keep that in mind. We need to keep that in mind after this arc. I feel like the fact everyone's focusing on what's going on right now and not remembering that there are other threats. Like, we don't know about the Spade Kingdom. We don't know about the Heart Kingdom. We don't know if they're conspiring or what it is they're doing. But we do know about the Diamond Kingdom. We know they're hostile, and we know that right now, especially like immediately following this big battle, the Clover Kingdom is going to be at their most vulnerable. They won't have a new Wizard King for who knows how long. They're going to be exhausted. People are still going to be hurt. Like Yami right now, he could lose his sword. He already has a burnt up arm. We don't know how long it's going to take him to recover. There's a lot going on that we don't know if if they're going to be able to cover in a gap within the time that the Diamond Kingdom goes astray. Because I can guarantee that they have spies in their country. They've got to have just people who hang out in the Clover Kingdom, and they just relay information. Like, I bet they have that in all the kingdoms, and the Clover Kingdom has that in the others as well. But we'll find out that soon. This arc is closing to the end. There's really only the one big battle left, and then we'll probably get some nice wrap-up stuff and lead up to the Diamond Kingdom. Because, again, I feel like this is the perfect time following this arc for them to be relevant. And, again, they don't need to straight be power level stronger. They just have to be their own level of more threatening, if not at least threatening to the state of what the Clover Kingdom is, which won't be too hard when they're completely run ragged after this big battle. It's taking literally all of the Magic Knights in their whole country to go against. So, again, also, we don't even know how long the people that were taken over by elves it's going to take for them to recover, so you got to chalk that up as well. Anyway, drop a comment below on what you thought about all this. Like, have you guys been thinking about what the Diamond Kingdom are going to present in this arc? Or, sorry, the following arc, and how exactly, like, they could attack, like, immediately after this battle's over. Like, the sun could set on this arc, and then immediately following the day the Diamond Kingdom attacks. Because they're all rested right now, where everyone else is like, I'm running low on power. I don't know what to do. We're getting into the final moments of this arc. The Diamond Kingdom could roll in and just be like, we're fully charged. We got everybody, and just attack. So soon, probably find that out soon. I feel like it would be too weird to have a different enemy show up. Whether it be a different, like, bad guy group entirely. Maybe they'll foreshadow one, and then they'll do the Diamond Kingdom. I just feel like any other antagonist group following this arc would feel weird knowing that we have the Diamond Kingdom sitting and waiting for whenever they take action. But again, anyway, tell me in the comments what you think about this. Have you been thinking about the Diamond Kingdom, what they've been up to? What the hell has Mars been doing for the past, like, 110 chapters? But anyway, yeah, like I said, drop a comment below. I really appreciate if you would thumbs up the video, but friend the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.